Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss with you some natural cycles of the ecosystem. So, first of all, start with what is ecosystem. The plants plus animal plus microorganism living in a definite zone, and that is along with the physical factors, that is called known as the ecosystem. That is the part of the environmental segment, that is the biosphere. The dynamic interrelationship between the living forms and their physical environment in the ecosystem. The natural cycles, that is the hydrological cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulphur cycle, phosphorus cycle, etc., are the part of that. Ecosystem may be ponds, rivers, grass, forest, etc. Some biosphere reservoirs in India is recognized by the UNESCO. So, first a natural cycle, that is the diagram of that particular. The first tropic level is there, sun, the nutrients, the energy, that is the producer organism and the green plants. That energy is consumed by the organism, that is plant eaters, meat eaters, that is the second tropic level, and that is lost in the energy, the nutrients. In third tropic level, now the decay of that organism, bacteria and fungi eat them. Here energy is consumed, nutrients are also consumed here. Okay, that is called food chain. Nutrients are revealed, but energy may be supplied continuously by the sunlight. First, that is the hydrological cycle. You know that hydro, that means water, that is the water cycle. A continuous natural process involving exchange of water, that is between the atmosphere, land, the sea, living plants and the animal, that is known as the hydrological cycle. 1/3 of the solar flux that is absorbed by earth is used to derive the hydrological cycle. A cycle operates through steps, that is the massive evaporation, transpiration, cloud formation and the precipitation. So, these are the main steps that are involved in the circulation of the water, that is called the hydrological cycle. So, keep in mind those processes, that is important for MCQ purpose, which processes are involved in the hydrological cycle. That is the one MCQ is, that is the transpiration and the precipitation are the part of a hydrological cycle. Okay, massive evaporation, transpiration, cloud formation, etc. Here, that is the diagram of the hydrological cycle here. That is the run of water hydrosphere. Okay, here that is the hydrosphere, that is the lithosphere, that is the runoff, that is the capillary action, that is the from lithosphere to hydrosphere and hydrosphere to lithosphere, circulation of water, that is the capillary, the process by which the water is circulate between hydrosphere and lithosphere, that is called capillary action, that is run of water. Then that is the precipitation reaction, that is from atmosphere, that is the water from atmosphere, that is the rain. Precipitation, that means it is rain process. Okay, and that is the clouds, formation of the clouds, that is water stored as in clouds. Here also that is the precipitation process, massive evaporation from that particular portion. That is the reversible process. You know that from the sea level, that is from ocean surfaces, because of the evaporation in the summer season, what happened, the water is that is convert into vapor and it forms the clouds, and then after in rainy season those water vapors are then again from cloud they are precipitated out as a rain and mix in the hydrosphere. Okay, so that is the process, the reversible process here, formation of cloud and precipitation, massive evaporation. Okay, then the it's provide fresh water. Precipitated water may be in the form of, that is in the form of rain, hail or snow. Land surface water that seeps into the soil or groundwater. Then the that is the below the ground there is natural water tables that is combinedly here, that is known as the biosphere. That portion, okay, that is known as biosphere. That is biosphere is the combination of all, that is biosphere is a combination of hydrosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, etc. Water moves up above the water table by capillary action, as I mentioned in that particular diagram, hence maintain the continuous supply of water to the surface soil. It is absorbed by plant roots in absence of rain. Surface water or runoff water flows into the streams, rivers, lakes. So, all these things, that is the circulation of water. Plant absorbed by capillary action groundwater, but give excess water through leaf by, that is the process of the transpiration. That means, what is transpiration? I give you definition in a soil analysis topic in the unit number 2 and 3 discussion. That is the transfer of the water, okay, that is from the hydrosphere or lithosphere through the plant leaves, that is known as the transpiration. The capillary action, that is the groundwater is traveled through a particular that lithosphere to the atmosphere with the help of the plant leaves. That process is known as the transpiration process. Then oxygen cycle. So, oxygen is the major component of the living organism, that absorbed by animals from the atmosphere during the respiration process and produced by plant during the photosynthesis. That means, in animals we absorb the oxygen with the help of a respiration process, but the same thing is happen in the plant with the help of the photosynthesis process. Photosynthesis and respiration are balancing the oxygen as oxygen cycle. So, in oxygen cycle two processes are main. One is that is called photosynthesis, another is known as the respiration process, that is the circulation of the ozone, that is ozone converted into O2 plus the sunlight free radical, okay, that is the oxygen cycle. Sorry, the process is called the volcano oxygen consumption. The process is that is 2 moles of carbon dioxide consume the oxygen and emit the carbon dioxide in plant, that is in photosynthesis, that is the CO2 plus water in the present sunlight, it give carbohydrates and the oxygen. Then that is the in sea level, that is the calcium are react with the carbonate to gives the calcium carbonate. Carbon react with the oxygen, that is the in burning of fossil fuels, that is they consume the oxygen. These are the source of oxygen. Here it is a source of oxygen, it consumes the oxygen, it also consumes the oxygen. Burning of fossil fuels, weathering processes, that is also consume the oxygen. Combined oxygen held on the sediments, oxygen converted into CO2, that is the respiration process. In biosphere, in the environmental segment, that is the exchange of oxygen, that is some reactions like the combustion reaction, that is carbon consume the oxygen give CO2, methane consume oxygen give carbon dioxide and water, that is the combustion reactions. Oxidative weathering process also consume the oxygen. This is the process how that weathering process take place. Then consumptions of bulk of oxygen to give the iron oxide by soluble iron during the primitive stage of earth. These are some reaction take place in the oxygen cycle. Green plant returns oxygen, that is the source of oxygen through the photosynthesis process, that is CO2, water, actually you know that about photosynthesis process. So, that is about oxygen cycle. Some environment chemical phenomena which involves in the supply of consumption of oxygen, those are the volcano consume oxygen, respiration also consume oxygen, oxidative weathering consume oxygen, while photosynthesis release the oxygen, ozone layer formation or decrease destruction, combined oxygen held in the sedimentary industrial consumption of oxygen. Okay, those are the processes in which oxygen may be supplied or it is consumed. Then in nitrogen cycle, nitrogen and its compounds are essential for the maintenance of the life. that is process in the biosphere, generally in biosphere microorganisms. It is continuous exchange of the nitrogen within ecosystem result into the nitrogen cycle. So, plant animals produce proteins, plant absorb the nitrate, that is NO3 minus, okay, through their roots from soil to produce the proteins and other related compounds. That is an important point for MCQ. Then the decay death of the plants as well as the exert of animal comprise the maintain the load of organic residue containing proteins, that is the major load of organic residue. Microorganisms in soil utilize the nitrogen containing compound and sustain their life through metabolic processes. So, in nitrogen cycle, that is the nitrogen cycle, that is from atmosphere, that is the nitrogen source, okay, that is the metabolic organic metabolism. They convert into nitrites NO2 minus, then these nitrites, these are the main processes in the plant or animals, okay, that is the biosphere. That nitrites, the ammonia, that is the degradation by the that is the dead organism, okay, when the microorganisms and the animals are dead, the plant leaves are there and they release the ammonia, and then this ammonia is converted into the nitrites, and then these nitrites are converted into the nitrate, and that process, that means conversion of nitrite to nitrate, that process is known as the nitrifying bacteria, that is with the help of the nitrifying bacteria, that is in hydrosphere and that is in the lithosphere. Okay, that is the ribosome bacteria. With the help of that ribosome bacteria, that is called denitrifying bacteria. This process take place, that means nitrate are converted into N2, that is with the help of denitrifying bacteria, and the reverse of that, N2 gives nitrate, that is called the lining process, that is rain. That is the nitrogen cycle. So, those reactions are already mentioned here, N2 convert into ammonia, then it is converted into nitrate, it is converted to nitrite, then NO4 minus, and then further into N2. Those processes are known here. That process, that means the conversion of nitrogen to ammonium ion, that is known as a nitrogen fixation. So, that is the key to remember those processes. You must remember that nitrogen fixation with the help of ribosome bacteria, that is conversion of N2 to ammonia. Now, ammonia convert into NO2 minus, that process is called nitrification process. That process is known as the nitrification process. Then NO2 minus convert into NO3 minus is called the nitrogen reduction process with the help of nitrobactam. NO3 minus then NO4 minus further convert into N2 atmospheric nitrogen is called denitrification process. I already discussed all this process in my last video. So, I am not discuss with again. This is the reactions, what is nitrogen fixation, how N2 convert into ammonia, then nitrification, how ammonia convert into NO2 minus, that is important for MCQ purpose also. Then nitrate reduction, how NO3 minus 2 convert into NO2 minus, denitrification, that is the reverse of NO2 minus to N2. Now, in a phosphate cycle, so phosphate are necessary for the growth and maintenance of the animal bones and the teeth. Organophosphates are important for cell division and the production of the DNA and RNA. Plants and animals derive their nutrients via the energy metabolic pathway using the chemical called, that is the adenosine diphosphate and adenosine triphosphate. You know the source of energy ATP and ADP. Then the terrestrial plants absorb the phosphorus via inorganic phosphate salts from the soil and convert into the organic phosphate, that is the phosphor cycle. Animals, and that is a dead organic residue, animals and the plant, they consume in the soil phosphate, convert into soil phosphate, run off with the to rain waters and the rocks and phosphate, that is the phosphate cycle. Plants and animals, when get died, they decay and decomposition return the phosphate to soil, finally convert into the humus by the that is the action of the soil microorganism. Soil also gets some part of fixed phosphate leach out by runoff of the water. Some algae are source of food for zooplankton, which in turn are eaten to other aquatic animals. That is the phosphate cycle. Then sulphur cycle. Sulphur is a frequently needed element to the plant and animals for synthesis of some amino acid and proteins. So, here the plants and animals are produce the proteins in the organic residue proteins, those in the metal organic process, that is the anaerobic metabolic processes convert into sulphide, then those sulphide in the atmospheric SOx convert into SOx. Here similarly in metabolic process, that is the anaerobic process, those are the anaerobics also in the convert into sulphate and sulphide, both are convert into the atmospheric SOx. That is the sulphur cycle. Okay, so that's all about the natural cycles. Okay, those are asking the long question form, write a short note and particular in majority cases, that is about the nitrogen cycle as well as the hydrological and the natural cycles. If you have any doubt in your mind, feel free to ask me in the comment box. Thank you for watching.